When the judge opened the file, everyone thought it was routine. But one detail buried on page 3 changed the entire.
After we've had a bench conference, my understanding is there's no objection. I know of Mr. Hathaway. I think we attended high school together. That would have been many moons ago. I don't recall, haven't seen him in the interim much at all. And that knowledge of Mr. Hathaway would in no way affect my ability to judge his testimony. So my understanding is there's no objection from counsel.
No objection.
There's no objection from the people. We have no
You
concerns
may
about that.
proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell the court how you are involved with Scioto Township government, or how we were?
Elected supervisor of Scioto Township, and served as a supervisor until my term, November 2022.
Do you know somebody by the name of Jillian Carey? Do you see the person you know to be Jillian Carey in the courtroom? Can you tell me where that person is sitting and what they are wearing?
I'll stipulate that identification.
All right. Record shall so reflect.
Do you recall the date of November the 15th, 2023?
Yes.
Can you tell the court where you were that day, starting in probably the morning time, what your day was like that day?
Well, as usual, I started working at home, then quickly working at the township hall.
Where's the township hall?
Looking at Z Road.
And that's in Scioto Township, Washtenaw County, state of Michigan? Do you remember about what time you got to the township hall?
On that day, I am not sure, usually sometime around 10:30 maybe.
What did you do when you got there?
Usually I would work at my computer. So often there were meetings with people. I'm not sure of my exact itinerary that day. I do know because I remember that I left shortly after 5 o'clock because I had a meeting in our the Washtenaw County Historical Society's board, which I served.
At any time in the preceding few days, had you used a computer that was in the meeting room at that township hall?
Yes, I used the shared meeting hall laptop computer on Monday, the 13th, because at noon, development authority, and the supervisor, I sat on the board of the downtown development authority. And that day, I realized that there's a particular issue with posting of the agenda for that meeting. That day, I was there at the office earlier, and around 9 o'clock, I began working on the problem of the lack of a posted agenda for the DDA meeting. Part of the problem with that, of course, is that on the posted agenda is the Zoom link through which people are able to participate remotely.
The courtroom went silent the moment the judge paused. She wasn't just reading. She was analyzing, connecting dots the defendant thought no one would ever notice. His lawyer shifted nervously, already sensing where this was going. The judge closed the file slowly, almost dramatically, and looked straight at the defendant. Her tone didn't rise, but it hit harder than any shout. She asked one simple question, and his whole story collapsed. The excuses, the promises, the rehearsed explanations, none of it mattered. Now, this wasn't just another court date. This was the moment the truth finally caught up to him.
And then you used that laptop, that shared laptop that's in the meeting space. Is that correct? Yes. Do you recall how you logged on to that?
The instructions for logging on are taped to the desk where the computer is located. And I would follow whatever the procedures are to sort of turn it on, log on to the computer. That day was particularly stressful because we were trying to problem solve this lack of Zoom link and set that up so that people could participate, the public could have access to the meeting.
Did you use Outlook or some sort of email program when you were using the computer that day on that computer?
Well, yes, in order to use Zoom, just the platform used for connecting remotely, you have to use two-factor authentication procedure, and that requires you to get a code sent and received on your email.
So 11/13 the Monday, you use this computer and then you use it to set up the meeting for the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. So does the agenda, post the agenda with the Zoom link?
Well, we were trying to solve that problem.
Sure.
It was chaotic, and we were still trying to solve that problem when the meeting began.
I see.
So I was trying to attend the meeting and working on the computer at the same time, so we could try and solve that problem. Finally solved it, but not until 20, 30 minutes into the meeting.
Let's fast forward to the 15th, back to that date. Did you use the laptop, the shared computer, I should say, not the laptop, the shared computer to send or receive emails on that date?
15?
On the 15th, did you use it?
No. The only time I ever used that computer in the meeting hall is when I was trying to start a meeting. And ordinarily, I'm not the person who's trying to start a meeting. It's somebody else.
Do you recall receiving an email on November 15th in reply to an email that came from your account?
I think you're referring to the email that was forwarded from my account. I do remember receiving a reply to that. That was until late that evening after I returned to my home from the Washington Historical Society meeting. Probably after 10 o'clock.
Is when you saw the email?
That's when I looked at my exact township email again.
All right. And Your Honor, I do have for the court, I have one for the witness and one for the court, the People's Proposed Exhibit 1. Defense already has a copy as well. May I approach?
Yes, you may.
May I approach your bench to give you a copy?
Yes.
Down until it's ready. Mr. Hathaway, I've placed in front of you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 1. What do you recognize this to be?
This appears to be, that I received from Jessica Flintoff, the township clerk, in response to the email that she had received forwarded from my email account earlier that evening.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of the email if you go through it as you recall receiving it?
Your Honor, we'll stipulate to the introduction of.
Thank you. Exhibit 1 is admitted. Go ahead.
Mr. Hathaway, I have a couple of questions for you about this exhibit, so we're going to look at this together. On the first page, can you tell the court in the middle of the page at what time it says the email was from Will Hathaway to Jessica Flintoff?
It was November 15th, 2023 at 6:08 p.m.
Where were you at about 6:08 p.m. on this date?
I was still at the Washington County Historical Society meeting, and
Washtenaw County or Ann Arbor Historical Society?
well, it's located in Ann Arbor. It's the County Historical Society. It meets in person at the museum on Main Street, corner of Beeks and Main Street.
You were not using the shared Scioto Township computer?
No. The Sheraton Township computer stays in the meeting hall. It's where it lives.
And you weren't present for the road commission meeting that was going to start there at 6:30 that night?
The road advisory committee.
That's right. I'm so sorry. I misspoke.
That's right. No, I was not present for that. I couldn't be in two places at the same time.
Now, as, excuse me, this appears to be an email chain. Would you say that's a fair?
Yeah, it's a thread of emails that was forwarded from my email account and it's thread of emails from 2022.
All right. So if we flip to the very last page, it doesn't have much on it, just a couple lines, correct? The very top of the very last page, I think there's just.
The last email.
The record is at page 5.
I think it would be. Right. So we're going to look at page 4. Yes. So at the bottom of this page, can you describe what is in this message, which appears to be the first in the chain?
Yeah, so this is a message from Jessica to me and then South Township Treasurer Homer in our capacities as members of the election commission regarding a meeting on July 11th, and it is her transmitting the meeting packet for that meeting. That was at 6:56 a.m. on July 11th.
And then did you reply to that?
Yes, I did. I replied at 7:19 a.m. And said in my message, Jessica, the resolution appointing the absentee vote board and election inspectors does not have the attached list of appointments. We'll need that in order to approve the appointments.
And this is all in July of 2022, correct?
Yes.
And then does it appear that Ms. Flintoff replied to you?
Yes, she did. She wrote back. Yeah, I have that. I don't publish the names because some will keep changing up until election day.
Then if we go to page 3, we're kind of getting later in time, correct, as we come forward in this document?
Right.
Who did you send this email chain to?
So at 8:16 a.m., I wrote to Mike Homier and
In what capacity was Mike Homier acting at that time?
Mike Homier served as one of South Township's attorneys. He works for the law firm of Foster Swift.
And I don't want to ask you about your communications with an attorney that represented you necessarily, but were you seeking his advice?
Yes, I was seeking his advice. That I was trying to grapple with making appointments without information about who was being appointed.
The specific names of the individuals to be appointed?
Any information, yeah.
Any information. Did you include anybody on this email except for Mr. Homier? Did he reply to you?
Yes.
Did he provide you legal advice or a legal advice of some kind?
Yes. Lengthy citations of sort of the applicable law and counseled me a little bit in terms of situation.
After you received that, did you reply back to him?
I asked, yes, I wrote back and asked if he was available for the 10 o'clock meeting.
To have him be present to advise everyone?
Just in case.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I knew that if, well, there were two things I knew that Treasurer Palmer was not going to attend that meeting. And so meeting could still go forward with Clerk Flintoff and myself, except if I did not vote to approve the appointments, they would not occur. And that could cause a real problem in terms of the election. I'm concerned about that.
As we go up one more, do you then see this as what was forwarded on that November 15th date?
Yes.
Okay.
So the final message in that thread was my message to Mike Homier asking if he could be at the 10 a.m.
And you did not send that exchange that you had with Mr. Homier to Jessica Flintoff?
No, I did not.
What is significant about this having been forwarded to Jessica Flintoff?
I mean, why? I'm not sure I understand the better.
Sure. Let me ask a better question. When did you become aware that this email had gone to Jessica Flintoff?
I learned of it when I looked at my South Township email around 10 on the 15th of November 2023.
What was your reaction?
I was completely surprised and trying to make sense out of it, but also responding to Jessica's email to me, in which she asked for an explanation.
At this time, were you aware of the relationship between Jessica Flintoff and the defendant, Jillian Carey?
I was aware that the two of them were, I guess, they are sort of political allies. I don't know of any relationship really beyond that.
Professional political relationship is what you were aware of?
Yes.
When this message was sent to Jessica Flintoff and you became aware of that, what did you do next?
Well, that evening, I wrote back immediately to Clerk Flintoff. I responded to her email. I explained that I had no, it was a mystery to me how this had happened, that I hadn't sent it and I hadn't even been on my computer at the time it was apparently sent. So it was a puzzle. More information began to come the next day. Early next morning, I reached out to the township's IT director.
Who's that at the time?
Chris Daly, and explained to him that this had happened. He was not copying any of them. And it was so late when this was sort of unfolding, and I didn't start reaching out to people at that time. But I reached out to Chris the next.
Do you need some water?
Yeah.
Do you have any water? We normally have some. I'm so sorry that we don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. The other person I reached out to was Mike Homier. I wanted to notify him because apparently this communication between the two of us, which I assumed was attorney-client privilege communication, had now been shared out quite widely. And sure implications, but I thought he should be aware. It was shortly after I sent those two communications that I received an email from Ian Hubert. And that helped me to understand more about how this had happened.
In 2022, when you were having this email exchange, what I'll call the original email exchange with Mr. Homier after speaking with Jessica Flintoff, was Jillian Carey a part of Scioto Township local government?
At that time, Jillian was serving on an advisory committee, I believe. And she was running for office in a special election to be held in August.
So she was not a member of, I'll call the board, or
She was not on the board of trustees at that point.
Okay.
She did win the special election in August of office in November.
of 2022. On November the 16th, after reviewing your emails, speaking with Chris, speaking with Ian, what did you do?
Let's see. So later on November 15th.
How about the 16th is the date?
16th,
Yes.
I met with Chris. He was trying to figure out what had happened, and met with him actually in the meeting hall to show me share computer, sort of puzzle through and
So he was manipulating the computer, touching the computer, clicking things on it, things like that.
Your Honor, I'm going to object this to leaving.
Sustain.
What was he doing with the computer?
I think he. Well,
If you're not sure, you don't have to guess.
I'm not sure at this
Okay.
point,
That's totally fine.
to recall that has a computer. He showed me some things that he had discovered, shared with me, for example, that not only was my email open on the computer, but two other people's emails were also open on the shared laptop computer.
Did you at some point contact law enforcement?
Not until at the end of the day, after talking with Billy further, after talking with the township manager, Joyce Parker, I concluded that it made sense to report this to the sheriff's department, the sheriff's office.
They use them interchangeably as well, so it's completely fine. May I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Right.